is a spiritual teacher, a guru, required on the path of awakening? Does awakening happen, enlightenment happen, because you found the right teacher, the right guru, the right enlightened one, and somehow they transfer that enlightenment to you? And some people call this Shaktipat. Others call it transmission. Others call it grace. Is that what happens? Is that what we are waiting for? Is that what you are waiting for? Because if you are waiting for that, or that moment of grace, we have already set up something in the imaginary future. Not now. I'm not ready. The right moment hasn't come. And as long as there is an imaginary destination, an imaginary future moment, then it's like chasing a carrot. Yeah, it's like the donkey chasing the carrot. It never quite arrives. Very often our sense of unworthiness is tied in with that. On the surface level, it may have something to do with what we've read, what we've been indoctrinated with, the stories of certain historical or even more recent individuals who happen to be in the right place, in the right ashram, with the right teacher, with the right guru, and boom, there it goes. The magic wand. And this is very alluring. Wow. I want some of that magic. And you go seeking that magic. But underneath that, what drives that imagination is a sense of unworthiness, which remains unexamined. Only when the teacher, the loving parent, confirms that I am good enough, worthy enough to receive this gift. So, this is something to be discerning about. Enlightenment, awakening, I use those words interchangeably, is not a commodity that somebody can give you. It's not a thing. Ultimately, it's something that must be discovered for yourself. We may experience potent, powerful energy movements, openings in the presence of one who is awake, and one that we actually have given power to, authority to. But those openings and energy movements are only the beginning. Perhaps it was so, this magic wand, this magic moment, in previous centuries, in previous cultures that were more simplistic, if you like, more primitive in some ways, less sophisticated, shall we say, psychologically. But today, something has changed, and we have a much more sophisticated psyche that can look within. And there have been many teachers who support that self-inquiry, examination of the mental, emotional strategies, agendas that keep you from knowing that which is essentially free, available right here in everyday life. This, yeah, so yeah, we're weaving in and out of the paradox. Yeah, this availability to you can also be hijacked by the finite self that then takes it on as, well, if I learn enough, understand enough, read enough, practice enough, then I can do it. This also is not the true picture, because it's not about the mind's understanding. It's not about accumulation of knowledge. Although pointers, discourses, dialogues are all a support, and that support is more available today, these days, than it has been in previous ages. Something more than the self and its knowledge is required. And that's where the role of another comes in, whether you call that other a teacher, a friend, a guide, a mentor, whatever you want to call that individual. And some of those individuals are uncomfortable with the word teacher. They call themselves a friend on the spiritual path. Some are uncomfortable with a friend and take on the role, if you like, of teacher. It doesn't matter. These are all just labels. But what matters is the frequency field. What matters, it's a two-way relationship. From the point of view, from the perspective of, let's call it the student, again, a term that may be comfortable or uncomfortable to some, the participant, the seeker. From that perspective, what's required is receptivity, not mind's acquisition. To listen, not from linear mind, but from heart. To listen, if you like, from the whole being. To allow words to simply be a pointer that evaporate in the field of openness. Not that they land in the mind. I must write it down. I must understand it. Now I've got it. I'll come back to it and go over it like a lesson. No. For the words to evaporate into emptiness. Because it's not the words that do the work. It's not the words that are the transmission. The words are just arrows. It's the field. the field of openness. It's the field of presence. It's the field of truth without agenda. It's the field of self speaking to self from the deepest. That is valuable.